Schedule.
I wonder if I've got time to record that list about
transits. What's the moon
and
doing?
just
I gotta eat.
that day
I
around
spent all day. I spent a week. Next week, last week.
Where are you?
Just
Can I grab
realized
my water?
Hi,
It's
how's your day
Matilda.
going?
It's so nice
Just
to hear
getting
your
your chart
voice.
up.
Well, we got that in.
We did. How was that for unison?
That was definitely. Oh, how are you? It's been, look, Mrs. Energy Woman, Mrs. Astrologer.
Yes, ma'am.
What the F is going on? Because I've been cranky pants.
I warned people last year that September of this year would have no chill.
It doesn't have chill.
Zero.
I have felt as if cranky pants, somebody I know mentioned that they listened to your podcast. Now, I don't listen to your podcast. It's not that I don't love you. It's that I hear your voice enough.
I was going to say, I don't listen to yours either. So
It's not that. It's just I don't want crossover with my predictions. We do
Same.
enough work together that I don't want my predictions influenced. But
I don't want mine sullied.
That's just rude. My goodness. I am at a loss for words.
I'm just teasing.
I spoke to somebody that does listen to your podcast, however, and she said, well, Laurie told us not to leave the house or something like that, or it was going to be a difficult week. And she got hit bad yesterday. Like it was, she even got followed around the supermarket because she had a Harris T-shirt on and a MAGA was filming her.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. It's crazy out there. Crazy, crazy, crazy. But yeah, I was in a foul mood for about 3 days. And it culminated in me becoming a Karen yesterday, which I pride myself in not being, but I decided to be. But Jeannie Mac, I have not been, today I woke up singing. I was, very...
Yeah, you were in a great mood today.
I'm in a great mood today. So whatever it is has passed. But yeah, I kept saying tomorrow's going to be better tomorrow. And no, nothing in particular. I was in a bit of pain, but nothing out of the ordinary, nothing particularly new. I was just vile. I was a vile human being, is what I want to say.
I don't think you felt well, though.
I didn't, but it doesn't usually affect me the way that it has
No, not
done.
like that. You were a bit of a cranky pants. But, we've got Mars in Cancer. And Mars in Cancer is the type, Mars represents a lot of things, but action is the biggest thing. And then at the lower end, aggression. And it is, all Mars is aggression. The sign it is in describes that, right?
Right.
In Cancer, it gets personal. It gets petty.
I wanted to pick a fight. And I was petty. I was telling Laurie before we got onto this recording that I had to go to an appointment yesterday, and then I had to go to the local super. It wasn't even a supermarket, the local shopping centre, which is just woeful in its best of times because I hate shopping centres. And I had to wait for some prescriptions to be filled for me. So I sat outside and I was watching the debate on my phone. Whilst I was waiting. And then I thought, you know what, I'm actually hungry and I feel like a coffee. So I went to one of the coffee shops, and it's a chain, all right? This poor woman serving me. I said, can I just, ask for my coffee? And then I said, I'd like I really had it in my head. I wanted a nice fresh sandwich or a wrap or something similar to that. And they had about 8 choices. Every single one of those choices had meat in them, so I obviously couldn't have them. And did I tell her my thoughts? My inside voice came outside. And this poor girl had nothing. Well, she wasn't a girl. She was a woman. Had nothing to do with the choice of menu. I am pretty sure that she had nothing to do with the choice of menu. But was I a Karen about it? Yes, I was a Karen. And I feel incredibly bad about it today. I did skulk off and get myself some sushi. Yeah.
That sounds about right. We're heading towards a pretty intense full moon.
Yes.
And I have been warning people about that because people are going to be a little off center.
Did you forget to warn me?
Probably. Probably.
I was just horrible.
I forget to warn myself. I warn everybody else. I look at everybody else's astrology except mine.
Yeah. I've warned everyone not to go to Melbourne this weekend. Where am I going? It dawned on me halfway through a live when I said, I'm going away this. Oh. Yeah.
Right.
We forget.
Well, we're busy, taking silly and taking care of everybody else except ourselves. How unusual would that be?
Oh, no wonder the shoemaker's children.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
The shoemaker's children never had shoes.
They had shoes. Mm-hmm.
So, yes. So that was, So I will hang my head in shame and thank God I'm not famous because somebody would have recorded my Karen moment.
Well, and I think that's something we're all kind of being reminded of ourselves right now, that we're all human. And you probably heard about David Grohl from Foo Fighters and Nirvana. Beyond the issue of cheating on a spouse, okay, which in a long-term marriage, if we're going to be realistic, it can happen. Mm-hmm. But come on, dude, you didn't wear a condom? You're my age. You're 55. You didn't know how to get one. To me, that was just kind of like,
oh God, haven't we all used old memories? Excuses? Have we not all heard the excuses about not wearing a condom?
Oh yeah, we have.
They don't fit. It doesn't feel right. I'm allergic to latex. Make me sound like a hoe, but I've heard them all.
Same. Well, and what's funny is, like, that was my first reaction. Mm-hmm. It was like, dude. And I looked up his astrology and I was like, that's going to be an out-of-court settlement.
How old is the child?
Just born.
Oh, you silly, silly man.
He was getting ahead of PR. He was getting ahead of press is what he was doing. It was a smart move. And what was most people's reaction to it was, oh, well, he confessed. He made up to it. And I'm like, Now, again, we're all human. And that is something that's up on display right now. Like, keeping people on pedestals is dumb. And I don't have any skin in the game.
Absolutely.
He's a human being. Mm-hmm. I don't even judge it really, other than, did it have to be messy? There's ways to do this shit.
And learn from those that go before us.
Mm-hmm.
There are plenty.
And when you portray yourself as, this is about crafting brands and personas as well. If you come across as the wholesome dad dude,
yeah, you're going to come unstuck. This is the thing. Yeah. There are so many people that are easily led by someone's persona, but we are all human. We all
have wrinkles. We all fart. We all poop.
No one is perfect. I was talking about this on my live today when somebody said, what do you wish people knew about spirituality or what you do? Time. The amount of time it takes to download the predictions that I make, translate them, put the pieces of the puzzle together, and then you get somebody saying, what's happening in Minnesota?
Yeah, Jesus, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
do a deep dive on it. Listeners,
dive.
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you, brother. If we give predictions, either one of us, and we say,
fucking deep dive.
There might be an earthquake, which there may well be a sizable earthquake in Southern California this weekend coming. Probably Sunday more than Saturday, but it could be Saturday. It might be Monday. It's in a range. I can't give you a specific date. Even with astrology, it's more likely. Does that mean it's going to happen 100%? No. But if I say, hey, it's in between Vegas and the San Bernardino Mountains, it could be from Bakersfield down to the Mexico border. And you say, what about Sacramento? Please check your life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because, by the way, Sacramento's up way north of that, Matilda. It's nowhere
I've
near
had this
it.
Today. I threw my toys out of the pram today on live when I was talking about the East Coast that's coming in.
Yeah.
And somebody said, what about Ohio?
Jesus fucking Christ.
What about Midwest? I am talking about something which could be incredibly catastrophic.
Yeah.
And you're worrying about something completely not connected. But getting back to the deep dive,
there is no more deep dive.
We do. What the fuck is
that was it?
That is the deep dive.
If a geologist cannot tell you a range of dates for when an earthquake might be, and I give you a goddamn range of dates, that is it. That is all she wrote.
I wish
Justice
you had a visual
Alice.
right now. The visual. It's something out of Beetlejuice.
Oh. But I told someone on a live stream to catch a bubble.
How do you catch a bubble?
Oh, you haven't seen. So there's a wonderful creator on TikTok who does like gentle parenting sketches, like with pre-K, and she'll do one with Trump, and she'll be just like, "Now, friend, catch a bubble."
Oh, we need to.
And I
doing
did that to
more.
a listener or to somebody on my live stream last night because I had just given the information. They went, bah, 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 and I went, "Catch a bubble."
Hear it.
Open our
hear
ears.
The information, because this is another thing, Laurie. People don't seem to hear. They're waiting to talk. They're waiting to talk. They're waiting to talk. Open your ear flaps and hear what we are saying. But the deep dive is what we do. All right? That's not easy. It isn't something.
It's exhausting.
It's exhausting. B, we have both worked for decades to get to where we are. We are constantly honing our craft. We are constantly learning things.
Yeah.
What's deep dive? Sorry, I'm going to give someone a deep dive down their throat. Just like catch a bubble.
I just got to catch a bubble, friend. And somebody else in my life after I did that went, "Oh, you didn't just tell them to catch a bubble," but because there was another person, because I had explained a little bit about listening to guidance. And somebody was like, "Well, I keep seeing 1, 2, 3, 4," and they kept spamming my freaking comments. And I was explaining the very answer, and I was like, "This is why you can't hear your guides, because you won't shut up."
Oh, you are so good. It is so true. My podcast episode this week is about missing the signs from your guides. It's about the fact that many people can do what I do. It's just that you're not seeing it because you're not getting out of your own way.
Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? And they're looking everywhere, and it's right here. It's right here. It's right here.
Yep.
You know, it's like one of the ways I explain it too is if you're like trying to bring something to you and you're constantly asking, you're like, "Please, please, 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 please." Your hands are closed. You can't receive anything with closed hands. So if you're clasping your hands and you're praying, and I'll be good and I'll make a deal, you're repelling everything you want away.
Whoa, absolutely. Well,
and I just did
today's lecture by two angry 50-year-old women with Mars.
That's right, God damn it.
I'm sure there's some men out there in their 50s and 60s that listen to us for a specific reason, because we really tell people off.
Get off my lawn, God damn it.
If you don't start listening, I'm going to take your pants down and smack your bottom.
Oh my God, we don't get to do that here.
No.
But well, now those 40, 50-year-old, 60-year-old men, now they're listening.
That's exactly what I meant.
Right? Oh,
don't
okay.
Stop behaving. I'm going to take your pants down and smack your bottom.
I'm slow. I'm still at 55. I'm still rather naive.
Did I tell you that somebody last year, when I was still using my cartoon character, and I had a very dainty voice attached to that. And gee, I'm not missing that because it was a real pain in the ass to do. But when I was doing that, and I lost my shit with somebody, as I do often, and I get told off for doing it, but they were pissing me off. And I called somebody out on their behaviour, and some guy put in the comments, is it wrong to be turned on by a cartoon character? And then when the next morning I opened up my Instagram and there was a male appendage in a photograph.
Ew.
Ew.
We're not attracted to those things, even if
we
we're
are
heterosexual.
Look, if you'd have sent me a picture of a wombat or a baby elephant or
absolutely
puppies playing,
or
jewelry that was on its way in the mail to me, absolutely.
But true enough. Okay, so there's this comedian, and she does this whole routine, and it's years old now. It's like over a decade old. But she talks about, like, fellas, if you want people to be into pictures of your schlong, you need to send it to a gay guy. Okay.
Right.
And it's a very, very funny routine. Now, I have a very dear friend who happens to be gay.
Mm-hmm.
And I was dating back then. This is maybe 5 years ago. And my daughter just sent me that comedy routine. And I was like, oh my God, if I get one more of those pics, I'm going to just scream. I don't find it's not attractive. And he was like, whoa, wait, what? What do you mean? And I'm like, Seth, I know you don't have a lot of girlfriends, but women aren't attracted to male parts. And he goes, whoa, wait, what? But you're not a lesbian. And I'm like, no, I'm not, but I don't find it attractive. And he's like, whoa, wait, what? Tell me again. And he was like so flabbergasted.
Yeah.
And I had to send him this comedy routine because our conversation mirrored exactly what she was talking, because he didn't know. And I was like, no, not interested.
Yeah, but this is what I was told by a gay friend of mine, is that men sleep with somebody. I want to use another word, but they have intercourse and then decide if they want to date them.
Oh.
And women date, then decide whether they want to sleep with them.
Oh, no. I don't find that true at all.
Okay.
I like to test drive cars.
Okay.
But I have a Sag Mars. So I'm like, you show me how that baby works. No. And if it don't work, no baby.
I am more interested if somebody read the dictionary to me or used their brain. Yes.
Absolutely.
But I just like somebody to show me that they have a brain and a thought pattern and
only if I want a relationship.
No, that's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about, the relationship side of things. Yeah. So gay men will sleep with someone, then decide whether they want a relationship with them. Women will decide whether they want a relationship with them and then sleep with them. So there's a different play on that. And which is probably
if you
why,
want a relationship. Yeah. Okay.
So, I've had the fun too, you know.
Yeah, because I didn't have fun when I was young. I just ended up married. But it's a Libra moon problem. All the Libra moons listening, you're just like, yeah. But I did end up with my beloved by working in the opposite direction. Yeah. But I didn't. He wasn't supposed to be anything except us. He was a very pretty fling, but he had a brain, and I kept telling him, "Shh, don't talk. I don't want a relationship right now." And then he kept talking, and 8 years later, even though I dumped him for a while, but here we are.
Well, it works out sometimes. I've actually got to interact with men to actually have a relationship.
That was
I don't interact with anybody. I am just the wicked witch that lives on the hill. I just find it all too mundane. And seriously, I live in an area.
Boring. Dating is boring, though.
I live in an area where, and I'm not going to say the area because I'm probably going to offend a lot of people. There are not more than half a dozen men that have a brain that live in my area.
Slim pickings.
It is slim pickings. It is really slim pickings. Funny thing though is, have you ever used Tinder?
No.
Okay.
I used a lot of dating apps, but Tinder frightened me. I've
used Tinder, maybe Plenty of Fish. Okay, I'm not great on dating apps because I tend to download my profile, get a lot of attention, and then go and turn it off.
Right.
So
yeah.
I had Tinder when I lived in the centre of Melbourne, so the pickings were quite good. And very strangely enough, I lived very close to where everyone went out on a Friday night, so I'd get a lot of swipes on a Friday night. Anyway. What I was going to say is if you go into Tinder where I live, all you get is men in high-vis jackets or motorbikes or holding up a fish.
Those fish pics,
the fish pics, the motorbikes with the kids. And I'm sorry, I'm not dating anyone with young children. I've done that.
Oh, God, no. I want you to be my new mama for my kids.
Oh, God, no, thank you. But they are, they don't put a lot of effort in. They look like they've just come off work, whatever. And then you go somewhere else. I remember when I was in the centre of London and you'd open up Tinder and it would be, oh, hello. They're all dressed nicely with their hair done, whatever. I want to test it in Paris and Rome.
Oh, yeah. Well, in LA, it was pretty good. I didn't use Tinder. I used other dating apps. But
I'm sure there's others out there.
I met quite a few hotties, I can tell you. And they were always shocked when they met me because I am what you see is what you get. And I was quite fit at that point.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, wow, you're actually pretty in real life. And I'm like,
I used to get that.
What is with that? Because so many people either they don't really made up or they use filters or and it was just a really common. I'm like, thanks, okay, but it was boring to date though. I mean,
I don't like it. I don't, and you know what? There are a lot of people that don't know how to have a conversation. They don't know how to converse. And I find, whether it's an art that they weren't taught or for whatever reason, but the stark contrast between where I live and a city is
there's a big diff.
Huge, is massive.
Yeah.
And because I don't get out or have a workplace to go to or have a massive social circle, and I'm not doing a woe is me because I actually quite like it. The way that I live is exactly how I like to live. That's... the pickings are slim. I once dated a guy, and it was only like 2 dates. I met him we met on Tinder or one of the apps, and he was insistent on taking me out. I need to take you out soon. I was travelling between Melbourne and Canberra at the time, so I wasn't available. And my pictures are very real. Like, I don't have them. They're not different to what I look like. However, I don't show my whole body. And at that stage, I'd put on about 10 kilos. It's not a massive amount. I was still fairly slim. We had a lovely date. He was trying to come home with me, and I said, no, thank you very much. The next morning, he asked me what I was going to do about my health and fitness.
Oh,
I
kid
you not.
Dude is lucky he's still alive.
He is very lucky he's still alive. He was so rude. And he would have been lucky to have me because he did look like a thumb. So there's that. But yeah, he wooed me for weeks, desperate to see me. And because I wasn't that petite size, and I'd said to him, I have been struggling with my weight since my back got bad. That's and my back's been bad for a number of years. We are at the end of it.
Yeah.
And he wanted to know what I was doing about my weight. And I'm like, oh, fuck off, dude. When are you going to grow some new hair?
Right. Jeez.
When are you going to get a personality?
So rude.
So, yes.
So rude.
It can be disappointing for people. But you know what? Those who are meant to be in our life will be in our life.
They are. They are. I'm just texting somebody back before I'm interrupted. Okay. So keep talking.
No, that's fine.
Listeners, she can regale you with tales while I let somebody know. I'm fucking busy. No, you can't call me.
it's usually me that ends up with a load of phone calls, and I always complain about everyone phoning me when I decide to take an hour off. But how was last night in America?
Yeah, the debate.
The debate. Both
it
of
went
us.
about the way, it went about how I figured it would. And I was getting really annoyed ahead of the debate. And in fact, I put up the TikTok live into my Patreon today from the day before the event. Because everybody...
How do you think she'll do? How do you think she'll do?
Like projecting their freaking anxiety and insecurities. And I'm like, prosecutor.
Mm-hmm.
She has spent her life debating.
Mm-hmm. The way that she walked across the platform, shook hands, and said Kamala Harris, and he's a germaphobe, so the that would have thrown him off completely.
Yeah. Well, did you see the look on her face? Did you see the close-in photo?
No.
If anything illustrated her Aries moon trine Mars and Leo, it was that direct walk and the look in her eyes, and she was looking at him like he was a piece of food.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to have to find that.
Oh yeah, I'll text it to you. I took a screenshot from somebody doing a video.
I saw her doing that. When I saw her doing that, I'm like, you know what you're fucking doing. You own him.
More than knows.
From that moment, he was undone. I am very surprised. Now, I always thought that he was going to walk off or storm off. There was a period where he did walk off. I think they had to encourage him to go back.
I think they shoved him back onto stage.
Oh.
Because during a commercial break, I guess, and this was reported from somebody who was there, he walked back and she was standing there taking notes and then standing quietly waiting. And then he came back on, but there was no one in the spin room for him. He did his own after debate.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I'm thinking there was maybe an argument or something to get him back onto the stage. Because I think if he could have left, he would.
I can find that, I would be very happy, because I will put that up, because I said I think he will walk off or he's not going to want to be there. And I felt that he had been cajoled or pushed into being there, because there was a part during that second half or the latter part where he was like a truculent toddler. And can you tell me why they don't drug test before they go on?
Right.
Because there was, for entertainment purposes only, there was something keeping him lucid.
Well, yeah, and somebody did a close-up of his eyes, I saw, and his pupils were very wide.
Okay.
Very wide under bright lights, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Let's see. I've been cranky. I guess, I'm cranky so much it's hard to talk. But I kind of went off at people in that same live stream the day before the debate because somebody was like, your bias is showing. And I just went the hell off. So listeners, I just want you to know, first of all, as an astrologer, you don't have to be unbiased. Second of all, to be good at predicting, you step away from your bias. But once you have the information, you can editorialize it any way you fucking want to.
Thank you. I've been trying to explain that to people because I do not like Donald Trump. Okay? Nope. His energy is icky.
He's disgusting.
He's a disgusting human being. But the predictions I give you are what I get.
Yep.
I don't edit them. I don't change them.
No.
And I am here to bring peace and ease to people with the information that I get.
Yeah. I will say I came out into public because I was just fine referral only. Thank you. But I came out into public to be a counter voice to QAnon and to those right-wing affiliated metaphysicians.
Yep.
And there are many in the astrological community. Yes. And some who get paid directly from those sources.
Absolutely.
To spread misinformation. I came out to give an alternate point of view I called my website before I was ever on TikTok, wokeastrology.com.
Gee, she's got fire in her pants today, hasn't she?
I do. I don't have to make everybody feel better. And if they are of a certain kind that prefers autocracy and fascism, they can kiss my hiney.
Absolutely they can. You do a good job. The fact that you have a political, you have that
I studied it, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's people talking out their butts. I am educated in this. And no, I haven't had anything to drink tonight, my patrons.
And she's also
because I did last night.
Yeah, she did. She did. She tried to have a sensible conversation with me last night and it wasn't happening. But also remember that we are here to be of service.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean to say that we are doormats.
Or neutral.
Or neutral. And you have the privilege of watching our information, our videos. That privilege can be removed at any point.
It can be revoked.
And when somebody calls me a narcissist, serving them, somebody called me a narcissist yesterday.
You know what? That sums up the whole narcissist bullshit online, okay? And no, I haven't had anything to drink, but boy, she's just
she
on
keeps
a roll.
repeating that.
It is not narcissism if somebody upholds a boundary and says no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm afraid people haven't really, because unless you've actually dealt with a real narcissist, and hello, I sure as hell have, that's just people having boundaries.
Absolutely.
And boundaries are not an insult to anybody.
We keep boundaries. Just because we choose to work in a spiritual and a metaphysical industry doesn't mean to say that we are not entitled to uphold boundaries. And that fucker got a length of my tongue yesterday because I was pissed.
I saw that.
And then everyone went, you shouldn't defend yourself. I'm not defending myself. I am educating.
And also, listeners, you don't have to be nice to be spiritual.
Nope.
The universe isn't nice. Smiting also happens. Okay. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
But that was another that was another practitioner.
Absolutely, and they were full of shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm psychic. I know who you are.
Yeah.
But they got removed from my page. But yeah, I'm just not putting up with bullshit anymore. And yeah, I was in a snarky mood the last couple of days. But, you get what you get with me.
Yeah. Well, and we can be. And being spiritual also doesn't mean you don't have low energy days. And it doesn't mean you don't have physical pain. And it doesn't hold you to perfection.
I think that if anyone that is a spiritual practitioner that says that they are perfect and 100% all the time is talking out their butthole.
Yeah, they're usually liars and scammers. But if you look at some of the great movies that that have spiritual teachers in them, whether it's, and it doesn't even have to be a great movie, but think like Yoda. Okay. Those are characters based off of people have met. And spiritual teachers are often cranky because when you come to certain understandings and you see how simple it is, and people are trying to overcomplicate it or are so busy, like, tell me the truth, tell me the secret. And we're like,
there are no
the
secrets.
Secret is,
you are the
secret is you are it. You're the magic.
Yeah.
There's no spell, there's no component, there's nothing that is more powerful than you. And they'll be like, no, tell me the secret.
Yeah. And if you don't want, this is also what I talked about on my podcast, is if you are not willing to spend the time to learn the ability, if you are in a hurry, you're not going to get anywhere. It's the no, the instant gratification.
Yeah, just add water.
Just add water. And in Laurie's case, just add gin.
Oh, no, it was bourbon, honey. I don't drink gin. We had a bad experience with gin a long time ago.
Everyone's had a bad experience.
No, and I used a very small very tiny, teensy tiny shot glass, which was a wise move, because watching that damn debate, I just started and then I was like, okay, I'll do another one. Oh God, he spoke. Oh God. It was just, and then I stopped because I was like, this isn't even a game. I'm just going to end up with alcohol poisoning. And I'm a lightweight, so it doesn't help. I drink. This was like 3 times a year I have a drink. And,
I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have.
What I ended up doing was, because I was streaming it for my patrons and we were having a good chat with them, chatting in, and then I'm making commentary. What I started to do was point out her placements and even some of his when their facial expressions would change. I'd be like, okay, this is, when she doesn't believe something wholly.
Was there anything she believed?
No, that she was saying.
Oh, that she was saying.
When she is not 100% morally aligned with something, but it's the party line, she gets very serious, very deadpan. The minute there's something that she attaches emotional value to or personal value to, those eyebrows start to raise. She starts to get animated. The smile comes on. Also, before she goes into strike, because she has a Scorpio Mercury. So before she stings, she gets the corners of her lips to twitch.
Interesting.
So that was the fun part, was just saying, okay, here it comes. She's setting the trap. And she did, I expected her to do well because this is what she freaking does.
This is, when people were saying, because I did a live, I think you came on live after I finished on the Monday, and everyone was saying, how's she going to do? I'm really worried. Oh my gosh, it's so scary. It's so insulting. So insulting for a woman. It's almost as insulting as the men's rhetoric as how she got to where she is. But she is a prosecutor. She would have been able to
Attorney General.
But
that's huge.
But she would have been taught some playbook moves very early on.
I think her prep for that was studying his body language.
100%.
Profiling him. She's dealt with worse than him in her career as a prosecutor, attorney general. And by the way, I told this to my patron. I'm not going to agree with every piece of policy that comes out of her administration, but she won't trash the Constitution.
And
and that's kind of where we're at.
Well,
we can make changes as we go along. He wiped his ass with it.
Yeah. But have you noticed how shrunken he is?
Yes. That was the first thing I noticed when he came on. His cheeks were chiseled and not chiseled in a rugged, handsome way, but sunken. And my grandmother looked like that when she had a bleeding ulcer.
He does not look well. I think a lot of the war paint he wears is to cover up the grey, as in the greying pallor.
Yeah.
Definitely something with his stomach. I want to go also to his liver. I would think that his liver is under a lot of pressure at the moment, as well as his renal system. And I still see him having a very public event, whether that is I think he's going to have a medical event. I think he's going to collapse, whether he faints.
Yeah, faints, falls, trips, something.
Yeah, I see that coming up fairly soon. But there's a lot of...
The full moon is not a great full moon for him.
I'm sorry. I'm so sad about that.
But I don't see him dying. And, there was that medium, not you, who was saying he's going to die in September. I don't see him dying.
I don't see him dying. And I have last week I had to go into, I don't remember saying it. What I did say, and I will stand by this, is people have asked if he'll go to prison, and I said he's got to be alive to go to prison. And
I've said the same thing.
I don't think that he will be alive by the time all of this comes round and he has to serve prison time. I don't. And we're talking about over the next couple of years. It could be 2025.
Yeah. I think he's sick.
Yeah, absolutely.
This year. I think there's a health crisis this year.
Absolutely.
I haven't been able to decide if he doesn't see jail because of his health or it's that he cannot live to the length of the sentence.
It could
because there's many hundreds of years worth of sentencing all told. So, but I don't think he's going to be around much past 2026.
No,
so.
I agree with you. I would be surprised myself if he sees the end of 2025. I'm going to say I feel 2025 is his day of reckoning. But there is a public health crisis to play out not too far away. Yeah. I think he knows he's sick.
Oh, yeah.
And people, if you think
I don't know that he can cognify it fully, though.
No,
I'm not sure how able to process and cognify he is.
Well, that was my next point. Is that if you think that he's in a bad way now, and he was definitely sundowning last night.
Yeah.
He has got 4.5 years until the end of presidency. If he's not going to, but just supposing, if you think about it, he is not going to last those 4.5 years.
No, and this is something people, it's not just about him. Who gets appointed? Who's in the administration? Who's making the calls?
JD Vance.
JD Vance? Peter Thiel?
When is the JD?
Elon Musk?
Shit. Oh, my God. Did you hear what Elon Musk said? Oh,
to Taylor?
My good God. What a human that is.
He's a disgusting POS. Now, he's got some karma coming up in the next month and a half.
Absolutely. I saw it start. I said that he's about to lose something quite significant, whether it's financial, something very similar to that. He's already lost quite a lot of money, but I saw him losing even more. He's going to be in quite a lot of trouble because he has put
deep
all his
doo-doo.
And all he's wanted is a place in Washington. And he
ain't going to get it.
He isn't going to get it. But to say something like that to Taylor Swift is revolting.
He's a vile POS. I mean, this is that any people would be okay. And this is what has been disturbing to me is the amount of people who, and I think a lot of it's bots. I don't think it's all people. But that people would be okay. And by people, I mean younger men. Unacceptable. Unacceptable.
There's a lot of bots out there because you know that they're going and they're saying things like, I am a person of morals and I back Donald Trump. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Good old Russian bot farms.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They're just sensational, aren't they?
They are brilliant.
But, yeah. And our friend, to change
Rod.
Rod, he went on live, didn't he, after the debate, and he was being
hit hard.
Really badly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've offered to moderate.
Yeah, I will offer as well, because I will not take any prisoners.
I was like, no, block them. Just block them. No argument, no nothing. Just block. No. You're blocked, because they'll get him taken down again.
Yeah.
So
I had a load of Trump bots in my live today, and I was just like, and it was like they were spamming.
Yeah, that's why I didn't go live.
Block.
That's why I didn't make any videos today. It's why I just focused on my Patreon because I knew, because I was reading through so many other videos and I was seeing, and somebody else made a comment. It was like, we know what you are now, bots.
Yeah.
I had a bot join my Patreon though.
Yeah, you said that. And then they were talking about the angry mango.
Well, they said all they said was mango, but I knew they meant angry mango, and it was really bizarre. I was like, Matilda's someone who uses angry mango. I don't. I call him Orange Man, the orange one, the Oompa Loompa in chief. I call him many things. Trumpty Dumpty. That's my personal favorite because that's how he's going to end up.
Mm-hmm.
But Angry Mango is all yours. I give you, not mine. I like mangoes too much.
Oh.
But anyway, they were, at first I thought, well, maybe English is their second language. So I was being like trying to find out and being, like I would to anybody. I'm not quite understanding what it is that you need. Is this what you need? Is this what, I'm going through it. And then there was a command line prompt that they put in, and I went, you're a fucking bot. So and I'm assuming it's a Russian bot.
Mm-hmm. There's a few of them around.
I thought it was interesting that they got into Patreon. I have to report it to Patreon. But they blocked me in the chat between me and them.
Jesus.
Which didn't interfere with their membership as a patron, which I thought was weird. And I went in and I saw all their message in my Patreon chat. And somebody that's an old-time patron got a hold of me. They said, I think this person's a troll, And I was just sorting it out. And when I saw they blocked me in the chat, I was like, well, you're blocked out of my Patreon.
Yeah. Do they think
How
we
bizarre.
cannot block one? I've only ever had to block one person in my Patreon.
Go for a few years more.
Yeah, I know. I'm very new to it.
I've got 6 in 4 years. 6
That's
people
good.
in 4 years. That's an amazing ratio to, yeah. So, but 6
you should
in 4
see
years.
the amount of people I've blocked on TikTok.
Oh, that's a different story. We won't even go into how many.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Block. You've annoyed me. Block. You've breathed the wrong way. Block.
Yeah. And people be like, why did you block me? Could have been my mood that day.
Yeah. Could have been any reason, but,
But yeah. So, yeah. That's how it's been.
That is how it's been. But I tell you what, our friend, Garen Noonan.
Oh, God.
Today has made...
Not Noon.
Noon. Has made the best video known to man. Talking about my very favourite word that I cannot use on TikTok or any of my videos because I will be shut down.
If you say it with the right accent, it sounds like a different word.
Yeah, well, it is dropped in Ireland like it's, a holy word. And the same in Australia. We just drop it wherever. It's only you Americans that put your hands over your ears and clutch your pearls and go, oh, my God, that's disgraceful.
It's the see you next Tuesday word.
Yes, the see you next Tuesday, where I meet people up for a drink on a see you next Tuesday. That and the 3 Fs are my favourite retaliation. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
I got it. Yes, yeah. I know which one. Got it.
I actually have that on my fridge. I've got it.
Oh, nice.
On my fridge, and it's been there for years. Because my son's friends used to come in and they were teenagers and go, did your mum really put that up there? And, yes, that's my mum. That's my mum. My poor children used to get, how old was your mum when you had her?
Yeah.
So they thought I was a child bride. This is years ago when I looked like I might have been a child bride.
Right.
The years have now been etched on me.
That, yeah. Well, it backfired on my daughter because we were out in London together and somebody said, oh, your mother and daughter, you don't look old enough to have a child that old. And she just turned 30.
And she was mortally embarrassed.
Oh, and I said, thank you. We aged backwards. She'll be fine, honey. And she was like, shut up, Mom.
I know. Yeah.
She's actually proud of it. I mean, we play a good game. She's proud of it.
I don't have a daughter to have that likened to, but my kids' friends came across a photograph. They had a party here when I wasn't home. I was 16 or 17, and someone came across a photograph of me and said, is that your mum? I'd do her. My children were absolutely mortified. Absolutely mortified.
When I was in college, in university, I was in a band, Okay, we had a band called One World.
Whoa.
And we were from all over the world, Malaysia, Indonesia, Palestine, Japan, Singapore. And of the Malaysians, they were Malay, Bengali, and Chinese. So, I mean, we were the world. And also from Kenya and Ghana. And then me.
Okay.
And we were a cool band. But I had Nicole Kidman spiraled hair. I had a piggyback perm, and it was long.
Uh-huh.
And I had a very cute purple lycra mini dress.
I said that to you the other day, didn't I?
Right, the purple dress.
Dress.
It was hot. It was hot.
I had someone come through for Laurie, and I said he wants to talk about the purple dress.
Right. And then I had a little black bolero that went with it, and I wore my high heels. They weren't quite stilettos because I've never been able to go super high heels. And I would play the bass with it. So I was the hot chick with the bass. And
I need photos.
I don't have them. I sorry I might have them. Yusuf came across them. My son came across when he was about 15. And he was in my office. And all I heard, I didn't know he was looking at the pictures. All I heard was, no, 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 no. And I came in, I'm like, oh, my old band picture. He's like, that's not you. And I went, oh, it is me. You might want to put it away. No.
No. No.
My eyes. You were ever a girl.
No, you weren't young. You weren't young.
You weren't hot. I'm like, why do you think your dad was into me?
They don't quite get it, do they?
They think they were hatched.
No, I'm sure they thought that they were brought up in an incubator. Or
pretty much. No, he informed me I was always a virgin. I'd remain a virgin, and he was a spontaneous birth. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Fair enough.
But yeah.
I embarrassed my son so badly. I think he was 16 or 17. And I went to the races. The races in Victoria is a big thing. And I was looking particularly nice in a shortish dress and a hat, and my hair and makeup done nicely. And we went to the races, and then we went to a bar afterwards, and it was a group of us. And I refused the advances of somebody that was rather young. And I had my son at home, and I walked through the door very drunk and said, well, you are a cock blocker, aren't you? Because I bring someone home. And he's never forgiven me for it. We saw the funny side of it. But, yeah, that was not one of my proudest parenting moments. But I was very drunk.
God, that's funny. Oh, yeah. That's funny. Oh, that's hilarious. I think when they get to that age, though, and you've done all the proper momming.
Yeah, when you've done the proper momming. They start to
see the human side. I don't think it hurts.
No, but he did turn around to me and said, do you want me to go to my dad's?
Oh! Hey, he's willing to be. There you go. Oh,
he wanted to be helpful. Oh my gosh! And I think it's even funnier when your children learn to drive and can come and collect you from your nights out.
Yeah, my daughter drove me home after the gin incident. It wasn't.
Okay. Yeah,
she was like 19.
I've called my children on a few occasions. They don't ever do this. No, I've called my children on a few occasions and said, are you out and about? And of course they'd have been borrowing my car and being able, really proud to be able to drive their friends.
Right.
And they'd go, yeah, we'll come and get you. And you get in the car and I don't drink very often, so when I do, it hits me.
That was me last night because, again, like my 3 times a year, maybe, and I, using that teeny tiny shot glass, and honestly didn't have much at all, but it doesn't take much. And I was chowing down on my snacks and just to keep something in my stomach, which was good. And no hangover because I chugged water like anything and took my vitamin B. And
you did all the right things.
I did all the things. I was young and stupid once.
I've had 2 really bad occasions where I have drunk and had to just go home. There was just like, I cannot be here anymore, and I am drunk. I was getting over, I think it was tonsillitis or something, and I'd been given antibiotics. Very, very unfortunately, it was also St. Patrick's Day. And if there is a day of the year that I drink, it is St. Patrick's Day, and I will go wherever there is a party. And I did drink way too much wine, and I said to my friend, I'm going to have to go. I cannot stay. And she's like, no, I'm staying. She was from Dublin. She was staying. And I got in a taxi, and it pulled up at a level crossing, which is where the train goes over. Right. And it was just around the corner from my house, and I literally opened the door, spewed because I'd been on antibiotics and drank wine, spewed my guts out, closed the door, and the taxi driver said, thank you for not putting in my back seat. I said, you're welcome.
It's experience.
You're welcome. And the other time was like one Christmas I went out for lunch. We're going to use the word lunch very loosely with a friend that carried into tequila shots in the evening. And I had not finished my Christmas shopping. Very, very silly. And I had one day to do it. And my ex-husband picked me up the next day because I could not drive. I still had alcohol in my system.
Tequila
and he thought it was hilarious that I was trying to pay for something and had to sprint out of the shop and spew in a rubbish bin outside the shop. He thought it was absolutely hilarious. And this is why I don't drink very often.
Yeah. I don't, just because I don't. And I need my brains to work for what I do.
Yeah, I need my brain to work. And this is why I don't like taking pain medication. People go, take this, take that, take whatever. And unlike America, I can get whatever I want. And I say that with jest, but I can't. Right. I've been with my doctor for long enough. And I have a cupboard full of whatever I need. I don't like it. It messes with my brain and my capacity to function. So I choose not to. So, yeah. So what have you got coming up at the moment? Anything you want to talk about? Any events?
I do. I've got an event coming up on the 21st of September, and it is how to use your astrology, your birth chart, to thrive. And it's a 2-hour class and you don't even have to be an astrologer. So I've kind of broken it down, and it'll be, giving people a great understanding to be able to use information in their chart to do more than get themselves stuck. Because that's what happens a lot of times. Yeah, I'm really excited about it.
Stuck, and that'll be a good thing for people.
So it's how to unstuck yourself. But yeah, so there's that. That'll be followed up by a 6-week coaching program for people who want more hands-on help with it. I've got some other stuff coming up too, but that'll be more like October. That's my big plan. Mm-hmm. What about you? What's up for you?
If you don't know, and you are booked in for a reading in November, you are gradually sort of from about the 6th, 5th. If you are booked in before the 5th, you're fine. But anything after the 5th of November, you are gradually being moved into September and October because I am finally decided I've given in. I'm finally having surgery in November. So there's not a lot of space. Like it looks like I'm going to have to work every single day of October to fit all this in.
Oh, wow.
I do have an event on the 29th of September, which is the 28th US time.
Yeah.
That is an evidential mediumship display. We get to talk about the afterlife, you get some spiritual questions. There's usually about 100 people in these groups.
Nice.
It's a really cheap and cheerful way to watch me work. Mm-hmm. There is an opportunity for a reading. Sadly, not everyone gets a reading because there's over 100 people, obviously. Mm-hmm. But it's a really nice way to watch me work. And also what I like about these readings is the vicarious amount of readings people get when things are talked about that are relevant to you, but it's not necessarily your person coming through. It just gives you that nod that they are around. So it's a nice way to get an understanding of the afterlife, spirituality, and get some questions answered as well.
It's a beautiful way to do it.
So
don't miss out.
Don't miss out. That's on the 29th of September. But that is my only event that's up and running at the moment. There's a couple of things I'm working on. That's why I'm going away this weekend, because I work so much better, or I plan. This is why we have off-site planning days.
Absolutely. Work retreats.
It is my work retreat where I'm going to go and stay in a very nice hotel. And do some planning work and some structured work. I've got some self-concept courses coming out in January, some real empowerment courses. And, that's what we've got coming up.
It's true. Yeah. My readings are only going to be booked through my Patreon, through my patrons at this point, because my calendar is so limited through 2024, and I'm just doing that. So
I think
that's going to be
1st of October. I will be releasing December and January readings, but again, they go to my Patreons. First, because it is so limited. But it's exciting times. We've got a lot planned for next year.
We do. We're going to try to make it so we're less bitchy.
I don't think that's ever going to happen. This is our opportunity to be bitchy. What are we talking about?
It's true. That's what the Sassy Seers is all about. We're nice all week long.
Yeah, give us this.
It gets tiring.
It would just be nice to record this of an evening so I could have a glass of wine whilst we're doing it. Talking about alcohol, But, this is why we're doing it. And we're going to have to get some of these episodes in the can, really, if we want it to go through December, because I'm going to be not around.
You're going to be flat on your back. Eh?
I'm going to be flat on my back for a while.
And not in the fun way.
I wish. Yeah, I wish.
We'll work on that. We'll work it out. I think we have time at the same time.
I think we do. We'll talk about it offline, but
after this.
After this. But you have some time off, and I have some time off before I get back into reading. So we could probably nail some.
Nail like 4 or 5
episodes to it. We can do that because there's lots of interesting things coming up.
There is
some big events coming up in the next couple of months.
Big. Huge.
And
that's why you can't really get a record. You can't get a reading with me in October. Because I'm like,
I know.
No, I have my own transits.
She's got her own transits happening. But ironically, I am having surgery. And I did talk to you about changing it, didn't I? And you and Mandy both said don't change it. I am having surgery on the day of the election in America. And I think the first words out of my mouth when I wake up will be, is there any news?
Yeah, we won't know.
21st, 22nd.
And that's in my predictions. I said somewhere around the 19th.
Okay.
So... but it could be the dates you said. It'll be a little while because there's going to be some hand counting and recounts but
Donald Trump or I'm going to say the Republican Party will be throwing their toys out of the pram. Yeah, the big baby that he is.
Pretty much.
Anything else you would like to add?
No, I just have to go fix a freaking thing on my website.
Oh, admin.
Yeah. Well, it's tech on this one. It's admin, but it was an automation that I didn't know was the wrong thing. So luckily I didn't put it. I gave some early bird links out to some of my oldie patrons, the people that have been with me the longest and at the higher tiers. And I was like, hey, you guys first. And then I got these messages of like, I didn't think we'd be on TikTok doing a reading. I'm like, I'm not doing reading. And then I went, oh my God, that's from like January.
Yeah.
So I don't know why it did what it did, but I know how to fix it now, which I didn't when you and I first started talking tonight. So
I have had that happen where I've had it pick up the confirmation for the wrong event because it is a human error that I haven't added it to that event, and that has happened to me. I've had a lot of tech issues where people haven't had the link, or the link's been wrong, and now I am becoming very anal about it. But yeah.
Well, and this one was a bit of a surprise because I had the event itself, which, by the way, that automation sequence worked fine.
Wow.
I don't know why this happened. So I have to go in after we're done and I'll just go swear at my computer for a while and
fix it.
So at least I could find it. When I couldn't find it, that produced the bad mood.
Yes.
So, but once I found it, if I can find it, I can fix it. So
we are very jovial, happy people normally.
Sure.
We are human, okay?
Listen, we are, and we poop.
Yes, we poop. It is. We are not. We're not perfect. We just have every now and again we have a grumpy time.
Yeah.
And most of it is driven by idiots. But yeah. All right.
Yeah, and not you listeners. You're not idiots.
Not
You're
you
fine.
listeners. I promise you it's not you. But we do get some silly questions. Do we not get some silly questions?
Yes. We do. And they're not even original.
No.
That's the problem.
Yes. But, I
get very excited when we get good questions. When we get good questions, I get very excited.
Exactly. It means that people have actually thought about it, and people that listen to us and watch us continuously and put other people in their place and correct them and give them the answer and will tell them what we've already said are amazing.
I love you. I love you guys.
I love you.
I love you guys.
If you were around, I'd give you a big smushy kiss.
Yeah,
because you save us sometimes, and you also save that other person, to be fair.
Oh, big time. Yeah, and I mean, I get it if it's once, if somebody just kind of asks the question once. It's the people who are entitled and demanding and spam the comments and make it not fun for everybody else there. Just the self-centeredness of it. And it's frustrating. That's why I really... I had such a fun time with patrons behind, doing live streams with them is a lot more fun.
I actually need to work out how to do that. I know that you've told me.
I will go through it again.
Please go through it again with me, because I think it would be a really good thing to do with my Patreons. And I forgot to say that sometime this weekend, my year ahead will be coming out.
Oh, great. Good.
I had forgotten to include that, but yeah. Patreons are amazing, and I would like to be able to service them more.
Your year ahead is in December, right?
Yes. Yours is in November.
Mine is in November. So mine will come out soon. I just have to fix automations and links and shit.
Yeah, which is, it's on my list to do when I'm away. Yeah. And I'm desperately trying to find somebody to make some CapCut videos for me, because I have so many predictions that have happened, and I like to make this is the video I made. These are the predictions that happened. The ones that I make are really shit. They are poor.
I just don't know that I can go through that.
I don't have time
right now. Yeah, I just, with my current transits, the idea of doing one more thing makes me want to cry.
And that's where I'm at, which is why I want someone else to do it for me.
Yeah.
I am feeling incredibly overwhelmed with the amount of admin and project management and planning for next year that I've got, which is why I'm taking myself away to do it. And you know what?
I think you'll feel better.
If I have to sit by a pool with my laptop and a cocktail for 4 days, to do some planning.
God, that's a horrible sacrifice.
It's just terrible. I'm really upset that I have to do this, but I will do it for you all.
Yeah, you poor thing.
It is terrible. It is sad.
I might do it in October. I might go to this place that I've been wanting to go.
Yeah, it's worth it. I did it last year a couple of times. This year I haven't had time to do it. With surgery looming and having to change my calendar, I've realised I am not going to have time. And I was going to go for 4 days or extra time, and then I realised that A, I probably can't afford it because where I'm staying is rather special, and B, I don't like being away for more than 3 days.
Right. You got to know what works for you, you know.
I miss my baby.
Yeah. And I'm already, I'm in a good spot where I am right now. So it's more like just sitting down and doing it. My new sticky note things arrived.
Do you love them?
I don't know yet. They're a little small.
Oh, no.
They are. I'll show you. Hang on.
Did you get confused with the measurements again?
No, I probably didn't look at the measurements is probably what it was. I think I was just so excited.
Oh, no.
But I thought they would. I had got ideas for astrology learning tools. But that's not what I wanted. I wanted the big one. That's not what I was
planning. That's not what I expected you to buy.
That me either. And I thought they'd be big, but they came with a lot.
Well,
so they're sticky note size.
No,
and they stick on the wall. But I was like, I wanted big.
I use magic paper. I use the magic paper, and it comes in a roll. I
should get the magic paper.
You don't need to use anything on the back of it. It just sticks to the wall. And
I know what you're talking about. I've used that when I've taught workshops.
Yeah, that's what I've used when I've taught workshops as well.
Yep. Okay.
I use that. It comes in a roll. Use it.
Yep.
It's cool. And you can have 3 or 4 of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but these are cute, and I came up with an idea for using it as a teaching tool.
Cool. Okay.
But
if you can use them, you can use them.
We'll get it. Anyway.
Well, I think that's about it for now.
I think so. Ta-ta. TTFN.
See you next week.
See you next week.